Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome. And whether it's morning, afternoon, night, or whatever day of the week it is, it's Monday morning for me filming this. Excuse me, I'm starting already being a bit croaky. Welcome to the new subscribers as well. It's lovely to have you along. I just wanted to give you an update on everything that's been going on in the last week. I didn't make any videos, make any Facebook posts or nothing. I was a complete stranger to social media last week because I was really busy and I got loads done. So I just wanted to show some of the things to you that I've been getting up to. As you know, I've been sowing seeds, and these are the seeds you saw in the video with Harry. That's his runner beans growing nicely there. Gonna have to move them, keep them safe from slugs, but they're doing very well. A fern, I got one fern, there's still quite a few I want to get for the front garden right there by the wisteria and the hellebore. So I've just got a little bit of a woodlandy corner in the front garden there in the mini food forest. So I like hostas and I like ferns and I like Solomon's seal and all that, so they're going to go in there. So yeah, that'll be a nice one to see growing. Already one of the nasturtiums is growing, and I have moved quite a few plants to the back there, some potted blackthorn. They'll be there for at least this year anyway, just to give a bit more of a wind shelter behind the table there to protect the more tender stuff I've got here. You see I've got the I showed you last time that I moved the mushroom over there. This red cabbage has bolted and gone to flower, but that's fine because I love the flowers. They're edible anyway, and if it sends up any more of these little flower shoots, they're edible too, both for salad and stir frying. So they're still perfectly usable, and the seeds will give me red cabbage seeds for the following year. This apricot tree is looking fine. I still haven't even checked out whether they need a partner or not, or what tree this is, whether it's, if it's not self-fertile, is it male or female, and do I need another? So that was just a happy mistake, not a mistake, an accident of throwing a seed in the garden. It ended up in one of the pots and sprouted. So I'm happy with those kind of accidents. Love it. But anyway, as I was saying, what I have been up to as well last week. Look, soap. I went to a friend's house who taught myself, my daughter and my hubby how to make soap last week. The heart-shaped ones are the ones that we made, and the rectangular ones are the ones that he made the next day. So we did a little bit of a swap. We used different ingredients, and that was a really lovely experience to learn how to make soap. Quite technical and scientific, and having to be very careful because it's obviously made with lye or caustic soda. So those will not be ready to be used now yet. They're a week old tomorrow, so not until May, beginning of May, then we'll be able to use them because they're still busy curing. The lampshade I showed you before, I know what I'm doing with it now. I have put rust killer in between all the rusty bits. I'm going to prime it and then I'm going to paint it. Don't know how yet, but it's going to have to be something colourful. And then I'm going to put in the solar powered fairy lights. And then it will go right up here in between the fabric, because I have spotted some beautiful wall hangings, lovely light cotton wall hangings at the shop where we sell some of our crafts, and that's going to go up there this year for shade. So in between the two, I'm going to hang that light shade, and then the solar panel thing is going to go above it, underneath or to that end, so we can get more light. That'll be really nice. Can't wait to do that. So we've done that. The soap, the lampshade. I've been doing lots of seed sowing. I don't want to take too long because I've got lots to do today. The little duck potatoes have started sprouting again, so they will go into a bit more new soil and be filled with water again, but they'll stay under the cover here until May. Pomegranate is starting to get birds. The Arctic kiwi, look at it. That is sprouting full of leaves. The passion fruit or grenadella is still surviving. It stayed in that colour really right the way through winter. It didn't lose its leaves. These are still growing. I still can't remember what they are. We'll see when the flowers come up. They might be ranunculus, I'm not sure. Bulbs haven't come up there yet, but I'm sure they might do later. I've got nasturtium seeds in here ready. The soil in there, as I said last time, is ready now for the carrots to go in, and I've left a gap up the top for easy watering and for earthing up this year. So I'm going to have double protection. I've got the EnviroMesh, I've got earthing up to do, and I will have lots of other deterrent flowers like marigolds and all sorts of smelly stuff, and I'll even put some chives around the edges because I've put soil in the tub as well around it. So that is going to do nicely there. The sweet potato is still surviving, but not put up any new leaves yet. I have been, look, those shelves we made for all the empty pots underneath there. So what I've done is I've taken them out, I've put the empty pots in neat tidy piles with all the other stuff under there because I needed more space for pots to put all the seedlings. And yet, guess what? I still don't have enough space. I also made a makeshift extra shelf between those two on the top. Still don't have enough space. Everything's taken up and I still have loads of seeds to sow. These ones, because I didn't have any space, I just used this watering tray that I usually use for potting, putting the compost in and potting up. But I just filled it with the compost and the sprouted seeds. These are all the climbing peas. And they're all sprouted and got nice long roots on them. But I don't have enough space. I mean, just these pots take up so much space, and there's the same amount in there as there is in this small space here. But well, actually there's more here because I moved loads of them into other pots on the other side. So to put all of these in pots like that would have taken more than a whole tray. So just until they're all growing a little bit better and I get all the other stuff moved and planted out, I've put them in here and they are growing. So when they're big enough, I'm going to separate them out and put them in pots ready to go out in the garden when they're strong enough to resist slugs. Under here, these were on top of the hostas. Under here are the sunflower seeds that have been sprouting as well, and they are still going to come through the compost nicely. The hostas have survived, even forgetting to put these little cloches on top overnight last night. And I forgot to bring the yuck on in, they're surviving. Gosh, and these are a different pea. These are climbing sugar snap peas. So one variety will have to go somewhere else. I think I'll keep them in the front garden. And these will go here in the back garden so they don't cross-pollinate. Microgreens growing absolutely lovely. Still some there I can use in salads. The loofahs are growing. There are some onion sets there to replace those that haven't gone in the beds, and I can give some to friends. The sweet corn for the school garden, that is still going fine. Peonies starting to come up finally. I'm so excited about that, I can't wait. I love peonies. Let's see what else. Oh yes, what else I've been up to. Excuse me, buttons. No, I'm not playing. Not now. Your timing, dog. This is what I've been doing in here. It was such a total mess, and on Saturday I finally got a chance to tidy it up. I've put the black currants in the ground, and I've put some of the thornless blackberries. I've put in pots because they're not going in the ground, no chance, but they can just ramble up over the frame. And they'll also help provide a bit more shade for the currants. The blueberries are doing fine, still in their pots for now, but that one has to have a bigger pot. I cleared out all of this here, put in loads of compost. I've transferred the strawberry runners to stay in there. I will later, when they're a bit stronger, put some lettuces there, and then the peas will go along there, the climbing peas. I'll just fill the whole thing with peas and let it cover the whole thing. More strawberries I've put from there from the runners, and I've put one of the fennel in there so we can get some seeds and flowers off that, because I want to get lots of fennel. I'm going to put the other one in the ground somewhere because I need loads and loads of fennel for tea. The tube that was in that corner over there, I've moved here because seems to be a nice snail and slug trap, because there was a gap underneath. Now there isn't. I'm going to fill it completely with soil to stabilize it and make it not go anywhere and make less of a hiding place for the snails. And then I'll plant something in there, probably the Chilean guava that was there in the pot. I'll just put it straight into the tube, I think. Maybe not. Maybe it needs more soil, sunshine, and it's right next to the other blueberries, of which it is a relative. So maybe I'll just keep it somewhere else. I'll put something else in here. Maybe the mashua, one of the mashua I'll stick in there. That would be a good idea. These ochre desperately have to go in the ground somewhere, so they have to go probably in a big pot, because if I need to harvest them like potatoes, I'll need to put them in a big pot. Potatoes I have already put in there with compost, so as soon as they've grown about 4 or 5 inches tall, I'll earth them up again. There's 2 big bags of chicken bedding my lovely friend brought for us yesterday. That's going to be layered in with the compost maybe on Thursday, so that'll be good to add in there. We've put up a solar panel and an oxygenator pump which arrived last week for the ponds. Turn that on quick so that by the time it gets warm today, there you go, bubbling. The mussels are still alive, the snails are still alive. I feed them with a liquid baby fish food once a week, because obviously my pond is a little bit too clean, and I put in a little bit of clay from old pots that I used that was part of the grass. And when we pulled up the clumps of grass last year, I put them at the bottoms of the tomato pots so that it added more water retention properties to the pots. So when I emptied those to put fresh soil in, I used the clay. I put some in there because obviously the mussels needed something a little bit muddy. Look what I found here. A mushroom. Lovely one, growing right by my oak sapling. So that's exciting. This bit is tidied up a bit more now. One of those drums are going to be used for my outdoor cooking oven. And another one, I think. I can't remember what we're going to do with the other one. But that's all compost and wood shaving, so that's going to be obviously used. I need another compost bin. But yeah, that's an update. I don't know if you can see through there that the onions are growing, so I'm happy with that. What else? That's about it. That's about the update for now. Things are growing. Look, the goji berries are, they're still full of leaf, but I'm going to keep them maximum that height, and at the end of the year I am going to remove it out of this plot of ground because it will grow huge, so it can't go there. Oh look, I've got a chive flower coming. Oh look, lovely chive flowers coming up. That's great. The leeks are still in, they're still alive and they're still growing, but very slowly. They don't seem to like it there very much. That leek is from last year. That's going to come up soon and be eaten. Black currant coming into life there. Because I trimmed it in the autumn as more like a standard, hopefully it'll let more light in at the bottom. Yeah, oh, and I also fixed up the framing underneath the cloche there and braced it with more diagonal braces underneath with the bamboo, so hopefully that'll help them as well. Everything still looks fine underneath. The Brussels sprouts have bolted now, which is fine. I can get seeds off them. Kale is still growing. chard, the spinach is growing. So yeah, things are growing nicely now. You can tell spring is properly here, and things behind there still growing. It's a relief. I still haven't got round to doing those hanging baskets though. I'm not going to sit with that all summer. Definitely going to have to do something about that either next week. Yeah, I think maybe next week. Get some time to do that, because today I'm off to the school garden for the first time in 4 months. Haven't done anything they've not been able to. It's been too wet, been too busy, but there is big things going on at the school garden, and there'll be an official opening soon, so it's time to get stuck in, tidy up, and make things pretty. So I shall let you know. I'll make another video and let you know what we do at the school garden and how it looks when we're done. Speak to you again soon. Have a lovely day wherever you are. Bye bye.